What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Friday night. Maybe if you can hear that, I don't know if you can. Can you hear that or not? I don't know. There is a literal air show happening over top of my house. There's an air show in Sacramento this weekend. They're practicing currently, and I could stand in my backyard and tell you what color the pilot's helmet is. But I do have the noise suppression on. Hopefully it helps. They've got to be done pretty soon, though, because it's about to get dark, and today is only a practice day. So, anyway, that's my Friday update for you. I just walked in the door. I shoved some falafel in my face quickly and moved on. That is empty. So, but beyond that, we're here. I have a couple of things to work on. I do have a straight axle Phoenix here. Can you hear that? It's almost so loud that I could not have a conversation with Nicole in the same room. If that gives you any idea of what of what the noise suppression does, we'll see. I can hear colors. Some good stuff then, Dana. Oh my God. It is so loud. It's so loud. But I don't know how many of you saw or heard from our live stream on Wednesday, but Matt and I are doing a new monthly Mayhem. And in the monthly Mayhem, we invited, there's 6 other people that are joining us in the monthly Mayhem. And we were going to keep the details under wraps. But there was some miscommunication, and Francis from RC Review spilled the beans. So, at least what the challenge is about, which we were going to hold off on telling until basically it was out there. But we've got straight axle Phoenix, and we're making them go fast. I know we've done that so many times, but it's just too much fun to do. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much or what I'm going to do in total, but I do need to at least get the axles built here shortly, some of the chassis stuff, things like that. So I haven't had time to do that yet. So now is as good a time as any, right? I swear to God, if you guys can't hear that, it's amazing. I know what I should do. The next time it goes over, I'm going to turn off the noise cancellation. That's what I'm going to do. Strap that Phoenix to one of the air show rides, right? It's wouldn't be in the rules. The rules were very, very clear. What is it that is so loud? I think there's some F-18s. I didn't look at the lineup yet of who or what rigs are all going. You know, if they'll. Hopefully, there's some more A10s this year. But oh, here it comes. Maybe, nope. So, oh, maybe. This is a quiet one. That one's quiet. Noise removal's back on. So, I'm going to get some axles built. That's loud. That was half the loudness of the last ones. Definitely not a Warthog. No, that was not a Warthog. But I believe last year there was a handful of A10s. Gunner Nissen, thank you, sir. Hello, all. Tonight's code, hashtag always last minute. Why am I like this? Gunner, I'm not sure if you're referring to me or you, but I think that we both likely can agree that that is the case. I am so far from ready to leave for Proline by the Fire. And I was just reminded today that there is a swap meet here in Sacramento tomorrow morning from 6 to 12 or 6 to 10. So now I have to get stuff ready for a swap meet too. I'm going to take as much as I can and try and sell some stuff cheap to make some dang room. Does driving the Mayhem rig inside of a moving van break the rules? Yes, it does. Any forward propulsion has to come from the vehicle driving itself. It says it's very. That's not exactly how the wording is, but it's a weak attempt at trying to be tricky like that would never fly. That's bush league cheating. Like it's grade school stuff. You're gonna cheat. You gotta be way smarter. I'm flying out to Proline from Miami super early Thursday morning. My hope is that I'm going to be there on what day? Wednesday. Are you planning on cheating? No. I'm planning on pushing the rules to their intended limits. Drive it down a people mover worth of... Nope, doesn't count because the forward propulsion is not being generated by the vehicle in total. So it's just like even if you put rockets on it. No, when I say driving, it means driving, like driving the drive train. Like that's not steering. Like it would mean also like you can't put a rocket on it because that would not be going through the drivetrain. Can't throw it off a building, etc. Josh is proficient at bending the rules just before the breaking point. Yes. So there we go. Do I still have my Capra? My Rift. I have a Rift. It is not running. It is not finished. My other Rift is at the shop. And yeah. So yes and no, I guess, is the answer. These goddamn planes. Loud. Josh goes far past the rules and explains how he did not. You see, that is a great way to put it. Like, you may think that I did, but here is why I did not. The cats aren't freaking out? No, it doesn't bother them. They're just hanging out. Fireworks, things like that. Nothing. There's just no reaction at all. Going to find the biggest hill with like 60% graded. Nope, because that would be gravity assisted, since you would have a gravity vector. Can't do it. It's like you're outside with the planes holding up. I'm not kidding. I could stand in my backyard, look straight up, and tell you what color the pilot's helmet is. Like you can see them look down. Like, I just put a set of VP F9s on a rig. Why are the front wheels going forward by the rears want to go backwards? I don't even know how that would be possible if you assembled them correctly. I just put a set of VP F9s on a rig. Why are the fronts going forward, but my rears want to go backwards? Did you put a portal in the rear and a straight axle in the front? Now I have to know. I have to know how you did this because it's literally impossible to do that. Ring gear on the wrong side. On the F9s, you can't put it on the wrong side. It's physically milled in a way that wouldn't allow that. Oh wait, I still have an AR-45 in the front. I am a dummy. Problem and solution. I knew that it was not possible that you put a set. Put one in there. Okay, there we go. What's recommended for a non-spicy satisfied jerky? Get the turkey jerky. I know it doesn't sound like, but it is one of the best snacks from Satisfied. I freaking love the turkey jerky. I'm just saying. Other non-spicy ones, man, I eat so many of the original's not spicy, and Nicole likes it. The bacon jerkies are great to get, but Nicole likes the original. I like the original as well, but there's like 50 other flavors that I really like. So I only eat the original when I steal it from Nicole when I've eaten the rest. So get the teriyaki and ooh, teriyaki. I do like teriyaki. But I was teaching a 4-H trap round and A10 came over super low. It was awesome. That's amazing. Toad Daddy, like what part of Missouri are you in? Because in Missouri, people forget that there's some pretty interesting aircraft that are based out of Missouri, and you can see some super fun stuff. Some of the stealths, the B2 are always out there. Yeah, some good stuff. I love planes. I used to know a lot more about planes than I do now. Let's see. Okay, is the RC Sparks thing? Oh, no comment. No comment on that. We will leave that discussion for different forums. Let's see. For earmuffs for the cats. You know what? It was getting a little ridiculous. So, our house is a madhouse. It's when Nicole and I have a conversation, Suki honestly she doesn't like when Nicole and I talk to each other. It's like a problem to her. So she just yells and yells and yells and yells. And then she'll like go get on her wheel and just tear ass around that thing. So, and that wheel is loud too. It's just every once in a while, Nicole and I just look at each other and just like, well, how do we live like this? Like, we don't even. SAC Museum in Omaha is cool. Yes. Strategic Air Command Museum is amazing. It's kind of like, it's in between Omaha and Lincoln. Super awesome though. If you get a chance, it's definitely worth the trip. I mean, if you're in Nebraska and you can't find anything else to do, not that hard to run out of things, not gonna lie. But you know. Southern Missouri, I'm in the flight path of several cool aircraft. They like the rivers and hollers oh my god. Do people in here use the term holler? Or is that because that's a Midwest thing, specifically usually a little bit more southern, even like southern Midwest. Like growing up in Nebraska, we used the term ravine more than holler. Like we didn't. But when I went down to Missouri, I grew up with, there was people down there who grew up saying down in the holler. I holler at my dogs all the time. No, I use ravine. Where are you at that you use ravine? Yes, family from Tennessee, heard it all my life. Okay, crick or creek? I did grow up in a crick area, so I grew up saying crick, but I do say creek now. Central California and you use holler? Oh wait, no, you said you were Ravine. Okay. If you use holler, I want to know where you're from. So say that. Wash or wash? I am a wash person. I did not grow up saying wash. But I did grow up with people in Nebraska that say wash. So I don't think that my area was far from that. It's it's crick and I will and I will say nothing else. I just always my parents would say it. Uh, you know, in the gully. I've heard gully a little bit. Holler in western North Carolina. Okay, so it goes all the way east. S- say roof for me. I believe I say roof properly. Otherwise, I say roof. Up on the roof. Holler down in Kentucky. Okay, so kind of south and east as well. We say holler in southeastern Ohio. What? Mike J is a warsh. He's Mike J's in eastern Missouri. I do I do love me some dialect talk. You can't help it. And it's the only way that I end up finding out where everybody lives. Because I have to associate something along with it, otherwise I will never remember. Little, little grease on the old gears here. Well, I shouldn't put too much since I'm going for speed. Also an OP guy. OP, see you later. See you betcha. See, I did not grow up around any OP people. Let's see. Way on up in the holler on the hill. Bubbler or drinking? So I was a drinking fountain person. I think bubbler is more like, isn't it like northeast, kind of a little bit more? I'm just here for the jerky and and some sad rib tires. Jesus. All right, getting this stuff together. That's one of those like it was funny that there's. I remember going through and there was a, you know, I don't know if it was a online quit, not like the Facebook. What superhero are you? But like I think it was actually through the last transportation firm I worked for, um, where there was a quiz that we took and it asked us like 25 questions and it could predict where you were from with pretty decent accuracy. The biggest problem is self-awareness of saying things differently and not, if it's beyond just actual terminology that's used differently, but the way you say things. What in tarnation? You betcha. Did you guys ever have, or it's probably, you'd have to be in more of a rural area growing up. Did you guys ever have or know the term doodle bug? A doodle bug, as in it's a type of vehicle, a doodle bug. Let's see. Wooder or water or water. Yeah. I'm a water, not a wooder. Let's see. Volks, Volkswagens are doodle bugs. No, not slug bug or doodle bug. Doodle bug, as in uh, they were you. It was a vehicle, like a truck that you would take the body off of or convert in a way to make a truck act, or be able to use it more like an actual tractor. That was the and like it was initially, I think, coined from like back when they would take like Model A's or Model T's, uh, like Great Depression era stuff, and convert them for tractor use because no one could afford tractors during the Depression and stuff like that. But like as I was growing up, you would see them on the farms, and it was called the doodle bug. Go grab the doodle bug and get some hay. But the truck underneath could have been some sort of, who knows, you know, 70s, 80s, half ton truck. Ever go frog gigging? Yep, we did do frog gigging, with a 3-tined gig. So that's did some of that growing up. Go out at night with a flashlight and a frog gig. Flash. Let's see. We grew up on the like a little bit of country. I went frog gigging with the 22. Oh, that sounds more efficient. I really think frog gigging was more of a thing that they just like told us kids to do, so that the adults could sit around and drink beer and we wouldn't bother them. Because it was only ever the kids that went. Ever ever had an otter in your local stream? We had a beaver dam on our farm, which was super cool. I should put in the steering stops on this. We used to get sent snipe hunting. See, that was not a thing where I grew up. So the first time I ever heard of snipe hunting was when I had moved down to Missouri, and they're like, "You ever go snipe hunting?" It's like, "No, what is that?" Like, oh, it's so much fun. And unfortunately for them, they were trying to talk to me about this in the age of the internet, and I could just Google it and say, "Thanks, no thanks, and F you very much." Right. Squatch hunting. I think that's only in the Pacific Northwest where you can. Oh no, I think there's people in Missouri that are. Well, there's probably people everywhere that are believers. And I'm not. Skinwalker hunting is amazing. Jesse, you and your Skinwalker Ranch stuff. I swear to God, can't with you. Okay. Order a Jack and Coke in Montana, and the bartender called me out for being a Northeasterner he knew just from my accent. I mean, Northeasterner, I get it. The Squatch are undetermined. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess. I guess it's undetermined. I don't know. Nebraska can be pretty squatchy at times. Oh, wumpus. What is a wumpus? All right, we got our first axle built. Any predictions on how fast I'll get a straight axle Phoenix to go? Because that's you got to remember the TRX6 long wheelbase and open diffs. This back to locked differentials. So while I'm going to give it my all, it may be hard to top a TRX6 speed. Just saying. But got some things in mind. The drag bolt was a similar build. So remember, it was an SCX 10.2 based. SCX 10.2 based we couldn't change the wheelbase. We couldn't change the overall track width. And we got that to go. What did I hit? 63 with the deadbolt. So Squatch has been reported in every state in Missouri. Every state except Hawaii. Yeah, they've been reported a lot. Lock the suspension down. In the rules. Still has to have suspension. These are heavier than a deadbolt, though. Yeah, I'm not worried about that part of it. The weight, not my concern. Righty. Blind Guy RC. Thank you, sir. Hey, man, just found out my buddy is giving me his RC locked. One SCX10, a RC10, two Tamiya chassis, and a Gold Tub RC10. Kind of cool. Hope all's well. Good luck with that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know much about the vintage stuff. So that will be, but it'll be fun to kind of go through them all and, you know, do some refurbishing, cleaning up. Because I imagine if he's giving them to you, that they're in a state of either dirty or disrepair at least. So, yeah, I think with previous drag builds, I say you should get it up to 70. If I can get it up to 70, I'd be pretty happy. Let's see, going all out. The only problem is time this time, because I have a lot of commitments in this month. Does it have to remain 4x4? Nope. Nothing. Got some rule bend. Get some rule bending to do. Now, I did write the rules. Do the rules preclude a center diff? No. I'm not going to tell you my plans. I see there's some questions asking an actual plan. I'm not saying nothing. Let's see. Oh, Matt is, I wonder if he's back home yet. What am I bumping in my Jeep? Nothing lately. I've been listening to podcasts, so I've had my subs turned all the way down. All the way down. But, and, I mean, I'm not kidding. Every once in a while, I'll go through this like phase of being a bit overwhelmed with just everything. And right now is one of those times. Oh, hold on a second. I gotta. Hopefully this still stays. Okay, still seems to be working. Sorry about that. I don't know if anything happened for you guys there or not, but I had to refresh that. But anyway, like right now, like I was saying, a bit overwhelmed with a number of things. But I luckily checked some things, checked some boxes the last week, 2 weeks, on things, obligations that I had, and one of them I finished. That's the reason why I was late. I had to build 28-foot tall rolling trees for one of the local high school marching bands. It took two 4x8 sheets of 5/8 plywood, CNC routed this huge tree pattern in it, and then they interlock. And then I had to build these 4-foot by 4-foot kind of crossed up steel bases that had plates for casters on them. I had it all laser cut, and then had to weld it all up. And I finally finished it tonight, like the last of the welding. I think I had 14 hours of welding, like 14 or 16 hours of welding on this project. I and it's one of my last projects for them. So and I don't even like so I will be I'm happy that that's done. The other thing is I had to build these 4 foot tall letters that said Alex and then XV for 15 because it's my like head packaging girl. Her daughter is turning 15 and they're having her quinceanera tomorrow. So I had to get these letters done and they all had holes in them so they could put like the Hollywood lights in it and light it all up. Got that done, ready for their party. And now I just have the stuff for Proline by the Fire, which is what I need to be working on. But I'm not crazy worried about it just because I can go to Proline by the Fire and just have fun, hang out. But I have that, and then I have Comp Crawler Nationals coming up, which I need to finish both trucks. Which like maybe tonight after this, I'll be maybe I'll do some of the wiring for that thing. Because let me tell you, is that why you got the new welder? No, I didn't TIG weld these. I MIG welded them with the Miller. You got a Miller MIG at the shop, so. Her what? Quinceanera? That's how you're supposed to pronounce it, right? Josh over engineering something? No, I don't think it was over engineered. I think I simplified it. It's a Mexican thing. Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. Yes, and what is it? It's it's a Mexican tradition. When girls turn 15, they have a big party. It's a big deal for you know, and yeah. So they have this. I mean, they've been planning for months about this party. You know, she special dress made and everything. Like it's awesome, and she's an awesome little girl. Well, not little, 15 now, but like she's amazing. So was happy to do something for it, and then of course we'll also attend tomorrow as well. Let's see. Um. Oh, sorry. Let's see. It's similar to a Sweet 16. Yeah, exactly. That's the best. That's the best comparison. I have no idea how many people are going to be there, but either way, it's going to be awesome. Super excited for her. All right, rear axle's almost done. Drop our rear shafts in. And here I am preparing to buy a fourth car again. Yeah. That on. So get that done. I've got to get the stuff for Comp Crawler Nationals done. And then, of course, Matt and I thought it was a good idea to do monthly Mayhem, which I have been pushing on. Can we get the phonetic spelling? Someone else is going to have to go copy and paste how the phonetic spelling of quinceanera is. Pretty sure I'm saying it the right way. You missed. Oh, I missed a super chat. Where we? Did it pop up in here? I did. There we go. John Roberts. Well, thank you for the reminder. Hollywood, but John Roberts RC. Thank you, sir. Hi, Josh. In Vegas, you mentioned a Grex trigger airbrush. Is that a good airbrush system, or is this, or is this a question for Moose Jaw? So, I mean, I've heard people, say you should go with this, or you should go with that. There's other ones, other people who make similar styles. I like the Grex one. It's priced pretty competitively. Um, it still may be the one I go with. So, because actually, I do feel like I want to paint a little bit. So everything's spinning smoothly. Got to make sure everything's right on this, since these things are going to be going mock Jesus. I had an airbrush before. It was a typical dual action style, and I gave that one to Moose Jaw some time ago. I'm not sure how much he's airbrush painting or not. Josh, I'm curious, what got you into RC and when? I got into RC in 2004. 2004, I would have been 21. And it was one of those things like I just wanted an RC, like a good RC. I never had a hobby grade RC growing up. Only ever had the cheap stuff. So I was just like, I want a good RC, and I didn't really know what that was. And at the time, if you were shopping for RC for your first time in 2004, you were either buying a T Max or a Savage. That's what you were buying. So it was like the early days. I was doing a lot of reading on like RC Universe and the magazines, all that kind of stuff. And I ran across on RC Universe this really, really crappy video of these guys who had built custom RC crawlers. And they were like, hey, check out this new website that we just started. And it was called rccrawler.com. And I was like, okay. So I went over there, and I think I'm I think I'm like member number 300 on RC Crawler. It's something like a low number. I don't think it's not under 100, but I'm pretty sure it was like 320 something or whatever. And I joined, and I just like looking at it, and it's something about it just freaking, I was just like, okay, I've got to do this. And there wasn't a such thing as a crawler kit you could buy. Everyone was taking other trucks and then converting them. And, for at that time, you were either converting a Tamiya TXT, a Tamiya Clodbuster, the Kyosho X Factor, or some people would take a Traxxas Emax, and they would take the independent suspension, and they'd basically cut the chassis off, and then they would take that whole suspension setup and they'd lock out the shocks. And then they would take that whole setup and turn that into a solid axle. So you had your axle, as it was actually this plate with your diff in the center, the A-arms going down and your carriers and everything, and then just locked out shocks, and then you would make links that went off of that. So this whole thing, it was ridiculous. All the cutting boards were sacrificed in those yeah. We'd go to Walmart and we'd buy these $5 shitty blue cutting boards. And that's what we would cut up to make either like a full chassis or make skid plates, whatever it was. It was a cluster. I mean, everything was a cluster. There was no tires available, so you were cutting up tires to try and make them work. You had to take there was hardly anything that had a transmission. that would use drive shafts. Everything used, dog bones or things like that because it was in the rear. So the most common one that you could use was the Traxxas Stampede transmission. And instead of calling it a Stampede transmission, we just called it the Pede. P-E-D-E, Pede. And it was a big transmission still. And you couldn't buy it as a set. You had to buy individual parts, and you'd spend a fortune building this really crappy transmission. You have to like JB weld the diff in it. But you'd build up this Pede, and it was still like this, like I said, big blocky transmission. So you'd cut all the excess plastic off it, and then you had yourself a shaved Pede transmission. You got a shaved Pede in there? Sure do. Sure do. Okay, so axles are built. I'm not going to build a whole lot more on this right now. Forgetting the biggest gem, the PTI Goliath. The Goliath didn't come till a little bit later, and it was indeed junk. But there was another one. You guys remember was it called the Venom Mini Giant? You guys remember that one? I remember the name, but now I'm kind of forgetting what it looked like. Let me see if I can find a photo of the Venom Mini Giant. They were called the VMG. Venom, yeah, there it is. Let's see. Let me see if I can find a good photo. Oh man, I gotta share this. Let me. It's not what I'm trying to show you. Cancel. Nope. That's what I wanted to cancel. Add a window capture is what I want to do. Okay, hold that. Pulled it up right away. So this was the Venom Mini Giant. Let me. Whatever. Good enough. It was this weird little monster truck thing, but you can see some of the ones here, like we used to modify to make into something that was less sucky. Let's see. God, there was so many. So you see, it did have a solid axle. These things were so weird. Oh, look at that custom one there with someone built a tube chassis on. Yeah, this was some good stuff back then. And turn that back off. There you go. Dog bone drive. It's a damn monster truck. Everything was a monster truck back then. The thing that like got the 1.9 started, like there was no such thing as 1.9s really. The thing that really got that moving was the Tamiya TLT1, which was a mini 1/18 scale monster truck. But we'd buy these kits and then just take the axles for the most part, stretch them and turn them into small scale crawlers. They weren't even called 1.9s back then. It was just, you had regular, which was 2.2, and then you had small scale crawlers, which was 1.9 trucks. There was nothing smaller than that. It didn't matter. Like it's literally shaking my windows. It gotta be almost done. The other thing we used to have to do back then was there was no ESCs that were like made for crawlers. So there was no such thing as drag brake really, and every ESC had forward and then brake and then reverse. So we would run the ESCs backwards. So we were technically always driving in reverse so that we could hit reverse instantly, which was actually forward, because there was no such thing as is reverse to brake to forward. It was just reverse and then forward. But it was just once you wanted to go from what was now reverse back to forward, you had double pump. It was, what a world. What a world. You gonna be able to sleep tonight, Josh, with those planes flying? They'll be done soon. I mean, I can sleep through a lot, but yeah. So I can't hear the jets, but can see whatever it is on the shelf behind the Ripper's hood shake. There you go. We'll see if that thing vibrates. I think we need an old school crawler build off. I know what you mean. Like, just sourcing the parts would be so difficult. It would be interesting to try. Matt and I have talked about it. Like, you have to build it's only parts that are pre 2007. So it'd have to be 2006 or before, because in 2007 is when Axial released the AX10, and that's when we really started to get spoiled with options. So, yeah, you'd have to build it. Claude base would be the one option to go. That was like the most, but it would be the real challenge would be a scale truck, 1.9 scale truck. Yeah. Would be the same as an OG bruiser build off. There's that, but man, even back then, bruisers would, yeah, I still have an RC four-wheel drive Bully OG V1. Oh man, those original Bully axles were something. They were like cast out of this super weird metal, and it was just, it was so bizarre. Buy up the last Wheelie Kings. Oh shit, that would work. You could get a Wheelie King. Oh man, the Wheelie King was my comp rig for years. Not years. Would have been, maybe it was 2 years. No. Maybe just 1 year. Maybe it was just 1 year. 2007, I competed with a Wheelie King for the most part. So, and then 2008, I went to AX10 axles. And then late 2008, I built my Berg. Back then, it wasn't called a Berg. It was called the OCM. That was the owner before Berg. Where's the swap meet tomorrow? Tim, it is down off Jackson Highway. Search Sacramento area modelers swap meet. I believe they're the ones putting it on. TGH, Team Garage Hack Concepts. What are we working on tonight? Talking a lot. I just built some of the Phoenix straight axles for our monthly Mayhem project. But can't do much more without starting to show what I'm going to be doing. So that's out. What we do have, though, is I do have ESCs to get wired up. Ah, there's those. I have a BEC in here too, right? Hopefully. Hopefully I didn't use it on something else. It's right here. Those are all pinions. I need those too. What is this? 25 weight shock oil. I think I need to replace the shock oil I have in that car. Still got a Crawler King running. That's something to say about that. Alex is checking in. Look at that. How big is the Phoenix pumpkin versus an SCX 10-2 axle pumpkin? What is doing next? Do I have an SCX-10 too? I've got... I have an SCX-3, which is basically the same size. So, what do we got here? Let's see. This is about 34 millimeters. This is about 30, 29. Maybe we'll go from center line though, because that's kind of the important number. So my best guesstimation at center line, I'm about 13 millimeters. From center line here, I'm about 17 millimeters. So a little bit, smaller, also smoother because it's got the faceted style. So, but a smaller pumpkin compared to the rear of a AR-45 Portal, but granted very similar. There we go. What was I doing? Oh yeah. Where'd the other axle go? Oh, probably put it away. I did. Josh, what carbon fiber low CG chassis would you recommend for the base camp? Ooh. So it's a good question. I guess the biggest problem is that if you're saying like for the base camp, then if you're wanting to use the stock transmission, you're going to need to find a chassis that uses an SCX-10-3 skid plate pattern, which is going to be a little difficult. So then maybe you look at finding a skid plate for that transmission that would work, or you change the transmission as well, and you go with something like the a standard 3-gear transmission or a two-low. There's a number of different ones that you could go with. Being with the AR-45 Portal, you could run a Vanquish VFD as well. You've have some options if you want to change the transmission, but finding one that, or you just drill new holes in the skid. You can, but you have to remember SCX-10-3s don't. It's not like just a normal. Or is that one flat? Can't remember. Some of those new transmissions don't just like sit flat on surfaces. Maybe that base camp one does now. I can't remember. I also hate skid plates that just have like a bunch of other holes in it. Like, I could never get myself to do that. Okay, what I need to do is let's see. Find my messages with Nabil because he sent me a couple of photos that I should be looking at to get everything packaged the way that he says I should. Nabil's so helpful. He's like, wire your ESCs like this. And then he sent me like in-process photos. And how helpful is he? Thanks, Nabil. 10-3 not flat also has bolt-on rear link mounts. Yeah, so you're going to have to change a bunch. Negative G for an LCG kit. I haven't built that one yet. It's a very expensive kit. I think it's like it's in that 300 some odd dollar. It doesn't look like it's done poorly. A lot of 3D printed stuff is what I don't love 3D printed parts and chassis. But, you know how it goes. I'm having a little coffee with my Carolyn's Irish cream. Oh, I would love that right now. Need exactly that. So I need to grab my 14 gauge, which this is 12. 14 or 16. Here. This is 14. It's still pretty. This is 18. I don't think that they're using 18. Felt like I bought wire specifically for this. Here's 16. I bought that. I bet that's what I bought. We're going to use 16. Seems like a good happy medium for, yeah, 16 gauge is good. So we're just going to, now I really want a coffee and Irish cream though. Oh, dang you. My problem is that I don't have decaf coffee, so I would have to have caffeinated coffee. Okay. I'm going to have to refer back to my photos to see which. Oh my God. Do you hear Suki out there being a freaking monster? Let's get our soldering equipment out. Okay. Got our roll of Kester already here. Life changer. Life changer there. What's going on, Ryan? Old school shirt. Like Kansas City rock crawler shirt. Yeah. Decaf coffee makes no sense, except when you need it as a vehicle for Irish coffee. That is when it does make sense. The man who doesn't sleep is worried about caffeinated coffee at 7 p.m. I'm not kidding. Like, caffeine is affecting me at night a little bit more than it used to. It's almost like I'm getting older or something. I don't know. But uh, I'm having a hard time sleeping very well because when I do reserve some hours to sleep, I need them to count because I forget to schedule time for that a lot. This just in. Josh is an old man. I don't say I'm old. I said I'm getting older. Uh, Get the Omnifixo out. How many times are we going to have people pop in and say, what is that? Someone get the link ready for him. Older or old? I see no difference, old man. ESC1. ESC2. Has nothing to do with the 8 shots of espresso, though. I only had 4 shots of espresso today. Oh, I need to flip this one over so that it's like terminals. -2. Yes. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at these photos real close like. Okay. Line those little suckers up. A little bit of a gap between them. So for those that I didn't say at all what I was doing, these are ESCs, 2 ESCs for one vehicle, because this is going in my MOA, my motor on axle vehicle, which uses, get this, 2 ESCs because it has 2 motors. I already have some solder twisted up, so I don't need that yet. But what we do need is some wire. And cut a length. Check. strippers. Only 4. Still pretty much liquid crack. Need espresso in my life though. Espresso. And especially good espresso. Which I was never a coffee connoisseur. I was a coffee addict who just drank whatever was available. Okay, we're going to tin these pads on the ESCs. Might as well do both sides. You need that Cuban shot of coffee. Wait, like actual Cuban coffee? Because I'm not a fan. Or like Colombian Cuban coffee. I'm really enjoying chocolate fish roasters out of Sac. Interesting. The neighbor who is next to us in the shop, he has his own roaster there in the building. So he's got his own roaster, and then he's got all the different green beans there in house, and he's got his blend that he prefers, and then he'll roast right there in the parking lot, and our whole parking lot area smells like coffee. So that does not help my coffee addiction any. Let's see. Cuban espresso. I'll try it. You know what? Where's Nicole? She continues to not be feeling great. But that Tony has the axle project coming. Tony just got himself some new curry axles. But not the curry axles that you would see fitting on my desk. Curry axles that had to be unloaded off of a very large truck. And they looked damn good. What are you doing to that solder? Twisting it. It's actually 2 strands that I'm twisting together. And that's only because that they did not have the larger diameter solder that I would have preferred. So I'm making do by twisting instead. I feel Nicole is retired from. She has not. She feels terrible that she hasn't been able to join. Every week we hope that or she plans on it, but still. Oh, that makes sense. I thought you had a secret. No, just too much of an impulse shopper to wait for the stuff that I should have bought. Josh's solder is lacking girth. But we got our first one. Josh's solder is lacking girth, but the bodies he orders makes up for it. Oh, I need to cut this by about. Oops. Right there. Okay. Can't wait to see Nicole at Proline. Yes, everything's still on track there. What kind of solder? Kester. Kester. And it is the 6337 specifically. What radio for the MOA? 7PX. Monthly Mayhem should have been an Ace and Gary build off. I haven't chose my paint scheme yet. But let me tell you, that idea not ranking high on the list of things that I'm after right now. Okay. Well, there's our negatives. Where everything is. Not cold solder joints. There we go. That's a good joint. Problem by the Fire is on Thursday the 6th, right? That is correct. That is the correct date. Or you could pull a Tony CCX and think that it is in a different month. Are you going to do the 10PX? I don't know, maybe. I haven't decided yet. It was interesting. I did talk to Futaba USA the other day, and something we've been asking for at least 10, 12 years is momentary winch control, momentary button control. And it sounds like we could finally be getting it. Okay. What's that jig called? What jig is that? What are we engineering tonight? Just some soldering. Perry G missed it. Perry, thank you very much. I didn't make ASD. Was the coffee trailer there? It was not that I know. There was the same people that were at Axial Fest were actually there serving food and beverage. So no, I did not have any coffee while I was there. Unfortunately. The only coffee I had was out of a can. Okay. And go one down. Yep. So that's just one side. Now, of course, we still have to put the other battery leads on, the one that will actually go to the battery. But these will just transfer power to each other. The point of doing this like that is because these are going to fold that way so that we can package these nicely like so. So two ESCs sandwiched together. So there we go. Chibs, thank you, sir. Did you update your Beam NG? There was more mod update released yesterday. No, I did not yet. I saw that there was a couple of like Tom had updated some stuff, but no, I haven't gone to the 0.26 yet with like the new motion blur and all that. It's on my list of things to do. I'll build it. 15 tamales. What ESCs are these? These are Holmes Hobbies BR Minis. They are brushed ESC. So, obviously, I'm running brushed motors. Obviously, so this is the truck, MOA. one motor on each axle. These are the Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster Magnum stubbies. So, super nice motors. And yeah, so. Stop buying all the Home Hobby stuff. Deluxe Mercenary. Is that what it's called? The Mercenary? Why does that not sound familiar? It's a full... I thought it was called something else. I could be... I obviously just don't know, though. Oh, the Asylum's my sporty. But, yeah, this is the full deluxe kit. So it's with the super lights, which are freaking cool. The deluxe shocks, which are like a Traxxas Big Bore, but come pre-modified the way that you want. I've got the loaded dice wheels, which are these carbon fiber kind of crazy construction things. You can see the brass and tungsten slugs behind it. Pretty cool. Put it on its side. Well, you're not going to have any problem with this thing. Got too much shit in the way, but that's the only issue. But I mean, it also just doesn't have everything in it. Like, how far? I don't know how far we can go. Like, you can be all the way upside down, but nope, you're coming back over this. Pretty cool. I mean, you can see how far that rear axle is cranked over. Josh, those 3 screws holding the wheels is messing with my OCD back, right? It's for weight. Gotta minimize that weight. Only run 3 screws. Have you tried the Polar 400/500 trying to figure out what to put in my ATL Pro V2? I have ran the Polar 400 before, but I love these Crawlmasters. I just love these motors. And so, yeah, never understood why people post pics of their rig on their side. It's to show that the center of gravity will keep it still there before, toppling over. But yeah, I do love. The 400/500 has been solid, but I just do they run 4-wheel steer MOA? They do, but it's a different class called the super class, where there's less regulations, so they're bigger, much bigger tires, and they'll get like 70 degrees of steering front and rear, so it just like does this circle on itself. Did I finish that water? I did. Okay. I got to go to my next Nabil photo, so I can figure out what I have to do next. There are motor wires going each direction. That makes sense. Does he show how he has his power wires? He held out on me on that detail. Dang it, Nabil. Yeah, no, he didn't have that shown on there. So I still have to... I have to do one thing on my own, I guess. That's okay. We are going to run black wire only, though. Let's see. Harley's, what's your most expensive crawler? My class 1. If I take in everything it took to build it, it would be the class 1. Like that, it was just I mean, the amount of materials and part, like, so yeah, I don't think that there's much of a thought for me on that one. And if you wanted to ask me how much was it, I had no idea, but I'm guessing a lot. Tell Nabil, Chris says hi. Of course, it's Ripper expensive. Now, like, I would say that my Ripper is worth more than my Class 1 for sure. But if you want to say, like, what it cost when it was new, like, because the Ripper, it was, unless you want to say what it cost to build that. We estimated what it took us to build the first 3 Rippers. Because we only built 3 the first round. And with what the material was and all that, we estimated it cost about 15 grand each. Which was silly. But worth it. Kind of, right? And then, of course, that later on that got distributed. But when we first built them, there wasn't any plans. We just were building it to build it. And then later on, we're like, all right, I guess we could build some of these. Okay. Let's strip more wire. Asking someone how much they spend on the rig is like asking a woman how much she weighs. Yeah, no. You never want the right answer. Build more Rippers. No. Nope. No intention of that. Sixth scale Ripper. It would literally cost about the same as like you could buy a 2019 Civic probably for the same amount of money we would have to charge for a 1/6 scale Ripper. So, like, oof. Where was what was Danish? Nice, someone was there. What's with the black and white ones that were posted today? Oh, did Jim post those up? Those were a couple of the very last sets of parts for a Ripper that we had Cerakoted, and therefore 2 of the owners at VP. No, not going anywhere or anything like that. It's just, which way does this need to go? Shoot. Hold that over. I guess this can go either way. I gotta double check what I'm doing to make sure that I orient my wires the correct direction. Not that it really super matters. Could go forward or rearward. They're just gonna go. They're gonna go rearward. They're gonna go away. But let me double check something. Oh, Nabil put them on top and went forward. I mean, not that it matters, but I'll just do it his way. Why not? 15 gram? I can't play that. Oh, no, it was one of those things. Like, it was it was a experiment. It was a marketing thing at the time. So it was, you know, and it was 15 grand each to build three of them. Like we estimated it was like 45 grand to build those three. But, that was some super expensive materials and, doing it in a way that wasn't as efficient as a production setup. And, it was a shop project. So it's not like it was someone just like diving into this type of thing. Hold, please. Ready? We'll never if you just don't want to refinance my. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like we could build more, and they'd still just be that expensive. Like we didn't sell them for what they should have costed if they were a normal product because that wasn't the point. It was just like to move, to like be able to put some of them out there. But like if we were going to make them an actual product because of what they had turned into, we'd have to sell them for the right amount, and that is what would be very expensive. So that is why you likely will continue to not see any more. Where's the end of my freaking solder? This it? This is it. And so, what about making rippers based on the VS410, making it like a normal kit, plastic cage, and Lexan body? We could, but that's not a ripper. A ripper, the whole thing about a ripper is the way that it is because it's machined. Like, that's why it's a thing. Like, there's lots of cool buggies you can make. It's, yeah, the whole point of the ripper being as special as it is not because of the design of it necessarily. The design of it is good, obviously. I drew the cage, but it's because it's all machined. Josh starts working at BP. I want to spend 15 G's. I got an idea. It really snowballed. If we would have budgeted out what it would have taken ahead of time, it never would have happened. Like the raw material costs for all of them. We're like, it's like, hey, I gotta buy I gotta buy all these materials. It's very odd size, special. I need $10,000 in aluminum for this silly project. Not for production. No, no. Just for silly. Just to be a goof. Eh, readjust our positioning of the wires. Okay, there we go. Looking good. How many rippers are out there? I don't remember the total number off the top of my head. Like 160-ish, something like that. How is CEN SEMA F450 coming along that you're putting speakers in? Um, pretty good. Um, the box is pretty much all built. The wood baffle is cut. The speakers are here. The amplifier is here. Yeah, it's just some, we got to start putting some stuff up. We got to start getting the wrap printed ASAP. Um, some of that stuff. The actual truck is going to SEMA as well. And it is in full crazy mode to be completed. Okay, so we got those. Now, we've got to do the top one. Readjust our bracket. Are you going to check it with an SPL meter? Right? I don't know if I could get the microphone in there. But hopefully it can do a little hair trick. We'll see. We'll see if it moves enough air. I don't know if these... Oh, I went the wrong way. I don't know if these little speakers will move enough air to blow some hair around. I don't know. I need my drill in here to wind these things like 12-volt cables. I've got enough of this solder that I should build myself a jig to twist it. Okay, now we'll do a little bit of extra on the rear. Okay. That done. I'll be happy if I can get this whole car wired tonight. That will be a massive item off of my checklist as well. I've got a video on my Capra Sporty already done, but I need to, well, filmed. I need to just finish the edit and post it. I started editing it when I was in Vegas, and I just have not finished it and got it published. Hopefully I can get that done this weekend. I have more filming and editing to do. Oh my God, Sookie is out there just being a pain in the ass. Uh, you want to give me one of your SCX 24s for free? I'll let you guess what my answer will be. Can you guess? Right. And perfect. Okay. We got that. We have to put the battery leads on still, but now we've got our smashed together ESCs, rear motor leads, front motor leads, front and rear ESC cables. We have to do our BEC placement, and we have to smash a receiver into there, which I should probably then shorten these little guys up. Right. Can't remember. BR Mini has a little, yes, BR Mini does have a little BEC in it. So I can run my receiver off of it and just run a BEC direct to my steering servo with a bypass connector. Yeah. What happened to flip that truck? It just was not getting view numbers at all. People were not interested in that not interested in that show. So I'll still finish off the season. I still have the trucks. I'll still get them finished up and sold, obviously. But probably the last time I attempt that series. That was my third attempt, and it just never got any momentum. So I don't think Nabil showed me his completed electronics setup. He did not. That's okay. We'll make do from there. So we've got a. Oh, what I should do, I'm probably going to just solder these direct into the XT60 when I do the leads. So let's get an XT60 plug. Oh, am I going to run a 60 on this or a 30? Probably going to run a 30 because the batteries they're running on these are 30s normally. Even though they have two motors. Not making the swap meet. It looks like all airplane stuff. Is it, Tony? Damn it. Okay. Well, that saves me a bunch of effort tonight then as well. Is this the right side? No. This is the battery side of an XT30. This is not the side I need. Fudge. Right. I need the other side. Okay. Let's see. You could probably buy a new what? Oh, the guy. Yeah. How much for an SX24? $500. They're very custom. I don't have any more. Sold. What's your PayPal? Ah, you got me. Well, I don't have any XT60s. Alrighty then. Sorry, not XT60. XT30 is what I meant to say. Just making sense. Making sure, I mean. Did I not buy more? I bought JSTs. I bought all those pinions and I didn't buy any more XT30. Alrighty then. Okay. Okay. Do you accept Monopoly money? It's all pinions, right? Yes. Bart. Okay then. Well, that's not going to do me any good. I guess I'll just get everything. Where can you steal one? That's my thought, right? Because I'm pretty sure I have one on my dancing rider. No, I'll just go buy. I'll just go buy more tomorrow. That's all I need to do. Just go buy. Oh. 60s. $60. No. It was such a good idea in my head. I was like, I think I know. Wait, do I? Nope. Nope, I do not. Have you checked your app? Check your inventory. I don't think that I don't put battery connectors in there because they're just like the little things. But I do have a charging lead, which I do have one right there on my charging lead, though. And I'll be very mad at myself if I cut that up. Like, don't be an idiot. Don't cut up a perfectly good lead. It's okay. We're just going to do the rest. I'm going to leave it so that that part of it is the only thing I have left to do. So I need the leads to the front. Project must take. I have a bag full if you need. Very funny, Tony. Just use an XT90 then, right? One of those, one of the ProTech ones that I have, like the, what is it, the freaking massive PTK thing. Okay. Just, you ever just kind of, can you Uber one? I mean, I could use an XT60 if I was like really in a pinch, but I'm not. Not that big a deal. So I'm going to, I don't know how long that part needs to be. So it needs to go from here to not very damn far. It's pert near there already. Media pause for the 50-minute drive to Tony's house and back. Just putting the back in 5 little folded piece of paper on the desk here. I wonder how long that would last. Like, what would view numbers do? Would the people just talk in chat and be like, this guy's an idiot? What's he doing? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, oh, heat back up, you sucker. A few hours long enough. We would bullshit in here. I would be interested. Like, would it still stay at, would there be 50 people? Not an experiment that I'm actually going to try, but we're going to. Ooh, I know what I can do. I know what I can do. Hopefully this does not desolder the joint on the other side of the board. It did not. Much success. Okay. Wand down, wand to go. Sookie playing with a toy. Chief chews on servos would enter. Oh. How much damage could the cats do if I just left the door open? See, it's like I could put food up here and it wouldn't be the thing. The food, they're not like food driven. Like we can be eating something, meat, and they'll like come up and sniff, and it's like, nah, that's it. I'm good. You break out the wet cat food though, and you know, our old cat gets wet food every day. But, and she only like licks the gravy. That's all she does. She's an old cat. We try and just pamper her for her remaining days, weeks, months, whatever it may be. And we tell Chief like sees it, like, nope. You let her have it until she's done. And then once she walks away, he goes in there, eats pretty much all of it. The pre-licked, no gravy wet food. Life of cat parents. No kids. Your cats are terrible at being cats. Yeah, that's true. Chief is afraid of, like, he gets, just scoots off. Like the little box makes noise. But those planes going overhead, nothing. Alrighty, now let's get this lead put on. Let's get another set of clamps on the board. Help us here. That one did not get a very good solder tin all the way around. Okay, that's much better. Yeah, perfect. So that is going to be our battery leads. I'll put the XT on that. And then rather than putting the BEC into that as well, I'm going to put the BEC to the bottom side of the other ESC's power pads. Make sense? Good. So these are motor leads. These are our battery leads. These are the other motor leads. Yes. That. What do we need the BEC for? No direct power servo? Nope, not in this one. I'm running the Shifts RC GT3. And I asked Shifts, I running theirs. Shifts is one of the title sponsors of the event. So I was like, seems like a good time to promote that, since they're helping to foot the entire bill for the event. And I go. So I was just like, yeah, and another fun fact, it's what Nabil runs. I just want to be like Nabil. But I was just like, why don't you offer this in a direct power? I've actually really liked the direct power these days. But their rationale for this in a comp rig where you're running these really tiny batteries, these, 450 milliamp 3S packs, is that with that small battery, you can get a lot of voltage drop throughout the run as that battery gets down to almost nothing. And Therefore, your servo, since it's directly powered off that and would be fading with it, would also lose power. So the BEC, and why Nabil said that he likes it best, is because it is consistent the entire run, no matter what that battery does during the run. I'll accept that explanation and move along with my day. Making sure I put them in the right spot. Making sure I didn't solder them onto the freaking motor or something. So, how exactly do we want to route that? I'm thinking back and up. Well, that would cross them up, but it would give me a nice flat spot to attach it. So we're going to go with it still. We're going to cut this off about here. No going back now. Nice and short. I do love these little Mac tool strippers. They're just so convenient. They do all sizes super well. Do a great job. Kind of expensive, but still very nice. Okay. Now, you guys hear Suki out there? One down. Number 2. Who does number 2 work for? Ah, my soldering iron cooled off. That's why. So the only thing we're going to have left is to, come on, to repin these, oh, come on. Up. I want to shorten up the leads on the ESC. There we go. Sorry, I had to pull that one off. I wanted to move it over a little bit more. There we go. There we go. I think that's all for our soldering, though. Well, for tonight. A lot going on in this little package here, but we have to still get our receiver in here and need to make sure that, you know, no wires can touch anywhere or anything like that. So surprised one of the shops like Holmes doesn't actually make a two. Oh, so Holmes, they have what are called what I think he had a board that basically turns them into a dual ESC setup. You know, like where it's it just goes on there and you kind of get to solder everything together. And he sold them as like pre-done setups before, but I think that the comp guys are just like, I'll do it myself. I would have no problem just being like, hey, that's already done already. I can just buy it. Sign me up. I could spend my time doing one of the many other projects that I should be doing. So, that, and that. I need a receiver, right? Yes. Is it worth repinning these for such a minor little change? Also, it makes it so much harder to program. I'm leaving it. I'm cutting a corner. I'm leaving it. I don't even feel bad. Hold on. I need a receiver. There was just about a catastrophic issue. I just about dropped that entire box. BEC bigger than both ESCs, yeah, exactly. Y connector? No. They go in separate channels because you control them individually. You speed up or slow down one motor or turn off a motor completely to give you a dig. So. Then we have our receiver, which we are going to cut open and remove from the case because we don't need that. Don't need that where we're going. What's the box with the red truck under the brown cardboard? Wait, what? What's the box with the red truck? I don't know what you're saying. That sentence did not make sense to me. Okay, I do believe that we still need to remove the red wire from one of these two. Otherwise, these BECs, even though they are very tiny, will fight each other. The other thing that I do need to grab is I need to grab a receiver bypass adapter, which I think I've got up above. Which, do I need to pull that out yet? I think that I need to not pull that out yet until I program both of these ESCs. So I'm going to put that back in for now. Okay. Cut the cables and hardwired the receiver. That is what I would do. And I was trying to be as clean as possible. And then I would need to program it. And I would have to recut it and then solder it back on. I'm like, box with the red truck on it. Guess it would have helped. I actually don't have, there's no red truck on a box. I don't know what you're talking about. You seen the suppressor ESC from Deluxe? Yeah, those are basically just an AM32, like a quadcopter based. Do I have? I have the HK Hobbies version. That's actually what I've got in the Moon Buggy right there. Same type of thing. So. Talking about the, oh, that's just a RC four-wheel drive Blazer body. How many channels to run the MOA? I mean, you're really only using 3: steering, and then throttle 1, throttle 2. But I think it depending on how you program the radio, it can be 3 or it can be 4. So, kind of all over the place. Okay, I'm gonna go see if I have a Y adapter, and I need to shorten that guy. See if I have one in here. Mm-hmm. Maybe not. I know I have some. I know I have some somewhere. I just don't know where. Okay. We do need some servo repins. And I know I have one of these bypass adapters. Oh, everyone's favorite radio. Well, damn it. This is a failure. Dang it. I'll look later. I still have more wiring to do anyway, obviously, to put the thing on there. When you need 2 steering channels and 2 throttle channels, if you want to separate wheel speeds for dig and overdrive and separate steering, these are not a rear steer. There's only one. There's not. You can only steer the front. You don't have the option for rear steer. So I'm just going to plug in this so that I don't lose it for now. And I'll finish up the wiring on this at a later date. I don't have a lot of later dates coming up, but we made progress. Oh, I thought you were doing 4 wheel. Nope, you can't do 4-wheel steer in 2.2 MOA. These are front steer only. 2 motors, 1 steering axle. So let's just go ahead and jam that in here for a little bit. I'm going to stay there forever. You just got to go in your place for a little while. Yes, that's motivation right there. Some ugly wiring occupying a otherwise very fun looking nice chassis. But okay, that's off the list. The other thing that I have is I finally got the what do you call it? The set screws for the moon buggy lower links. I should install those. Pretty sure I threw them on this bench this week during one of the last week, maybe during the live stream. Now I'm forgetting if that was true. Survey says I don't know what I'm talking about. You said you had. That's exactly right. Did I? I remember I said I had them, and then I literally threw them at the moon buggy. Remember that? It was during a live stream. I think it was last Friday, actually. And someone asked, am I still using welding rod for those links? And I said, I am, but I bought the... There we go. Everybody recognizes the yellow McMaster bag. So, okay, now we just got to drop the old skid plate out. Okay. There we go. Drop down and get your eagle on. Drop down. Anybody remember that song? Huh? Yay? Nay? What KV motor am I running in this? 1850. That's what I'm running in here. Couldn't even hear the DeWalt gyro. That's the good old NVIDIA noise suppression. Flap your wings. So now we're gonna swap our tips. Oh, I really don't need the tip at first though, do I? I just need to shake out the welding rod. On out of there. Doesn't want to come out of that side. This is just... And I get my flush cuts onto it. Magnet? A magnet might work, but wondering if I can just... Got a stack of rare earth magnets. That welding, the other one stuck to it. Good idea. Problem, solution. Because that was a pain in the butt. First you're yanking on it, then you're beating on it. Are we sure we're on the right channel? You know you're on the right channel. That's the problem. One thing that could be cool in the future of RC would be an adjustable from the transmitter, diffs, and slipper plate. Is there anything like that out there? You mean like a adjustable, like on the fly adjustable limited slip type thing? Isn't there something like that in the 8th scale world that's done with a magnetic drive type system? Or maybe it's just braking. It might just be for braking. Scott O'Blander, thank you, sir. I had to use tuning rings with the VXT2 tires. The little Novas on their own didn't fill them outside enough. Is that typical? I mean, I have not ran into that. I'm only running just standard little Nova foams. I mean, it all depends on wheel and tire choice and all that too. You know, width of the wheels, not tire, but yeah, width of the wheels would be a big part of it. Well, that goes that way. And that goes towards the rear. So I do have that correct. Runner about halfway in. Go. One side done. I was going to say my X-Max has a slipper. Yeah, but slipper, like, but not in the diff. Okay. Go. Okay, that part of it's done finally. That only took way too long to get finished up. Me. This side back on. BXT2s are huge for 475s. Must have been the same guy that tells his wife 3. You know what? I had something to do with the sizing of those, so you're welcome. No. I think that they're exactly the right size. I think they're right at 475, as stated. Right. Okay, we're just gonna get that. Okay. Now, I should have like disassembled many more things before I was trying to just get this into place. But obviously, patience is my number one personality trait. Looks like my iron is still on. No, it's it's unplugged. Josh, do you work for Vanquish? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Hey, God damn it, that side was out. Now both sides are out. Didn't even really matter. Okay. Drop that trans. There. Stop fighting that. You ever just like think you're gonna do something the easy way and you just don't take everything apart, and then if you would have just done it the way that you should have done it, it would have been 50% faster. Right. Shortcuts usually end up taking more time every single time. Yeah. What is your title? I hear you talk about it sometimes, but never caught what you do. You know, it's titles or we don't really put a title on it. Did you change your mind about the crawler TAs because during the Capper Live you didn't like how? No, I always like crawler TAs. I just, if I'm going for a performance tire, like that's my first thing, then I usually went with something else. But the crawler TA has always been my drop the screw, go down to pick it up, and it's a different screw. It's almost like there's a lot of screws in the ground. Okay, so now we'll get this guy back in there properly before long. I found the little adapter plate, spacer plate, whatever you want to call it, and was going to bring that home and forgot, but that's okay. We're getting closer and closer. I'm not in any hurry to get this one finished. We just kind of fiddle around with it every now and then. I need to get to fiddling on the Woods Runner, though. Like losing your golf ball and go looking for it, find 5 more, but not yours. Yeah, I was always really good at that. Both losing golf balls and, you know, finding extras so that I could lose them again later. I forgot, do you have panels or need to make them? So I modeled this whole car in Fusion and I designed my panels already. So I'm going to CNC cut them for not a real. I was going to do like a number of like carbon panels with like some Lexan cutouts. So Lexan behind it. We'll see. I don't know which way I'm going to go for sure. Like even 0.5 mil carbon, I don't think it would bend and conform to this quite the way that I would want. So I don't know. I think that it to get, because I may have to get Lexan, put a little bit of a break in it so that it follows it just perfectly. Would the SCX-10 straight axles work on an SCX-10 having issues getting the front axle to sit straight? I mean, you'll be able to get it to sit straight as long as you have the right links, but you're going to have panhard clearance issues. So, the dry shampoo episode. Yeah. Yep. I do remember that. The bomb in a bottle. What was dry shampoo? It was like propane, butane, gasoline, and everything that I was like, this is terrible. The new Vanquish tires 475, Josh. Yes. The VXT2s are 475. Says right on the side of them. They just look bigger. They're still 475. Copper panels mounted behind the cage. Oh no, you can't. All the flammable gases and some cornstarch for fun. Yeah, it sounded like some silly episode of MacGyver is basically what it sounded like. They're showers, not growers. And I mean, if you over foam them, you could stretch them a little bit, of course, but. Is Vanquish going to produce an aluminum knuckle for the F10 portal axle? Yes, we are. They are done. They will be released soon. Spoiler alert. I think we maybe posted some photos of them even already, like a couple of us, like on our own social medias. But yes, they're done. I actually had them at work today, like the finished ones. So we're just waiting on the final official release. So any day now. Well, not tomorrow or the next day, I'll tell you that. Custom lay carbon fiber panels? It's a possibility. I mean, I could, but I have other projects that are in the way of that at the moment. but it's an option. Put some of this stuff away. Putting things away is something that I have not been doing a fantastic job at lately. Whoops. It's I'm just gonna have to buy them from you guys. My local hobby shop does not have them yet. Well, nobody has them yet, but they will be out very soon. Are you going to get a signature jerky flavor? Hopefully it's hot and you try it on the live channel. Oh, a chaotic desk is the sign of a genius, so they say. Like, my desk looks pretty chaotic right now, right? But if you go beyond what you can see, it gets so much worse. Oh, there's my audio recorder. See it? And this side, oh, that's as far as it goes. The camera hits the light. Sorry. It's worse on that side. Normally I like try and get it out of the camera view. So, is there any way to add brass to a Futaba Ascender? Ooh, Rock Jock Axle. Find brass Futaba Ascender knuckles, but just about anything Ascender is going to start becoming dead. Like, you're just not going to see much. Apparently my Phoenix Portal kit still has VXT1 tires. All Phoenix kits have VXT1s. VXT2s are larger than the tire that comes in the Phoenix, and it would have a lot of rubbing just right out of the box, so they're not included. Looks like my table. Yeah. I'm going to do a wee bit of cleanup while I continue to answer whatever we have in here for the rest of the show. I don't know that I'll get to work on much anything else important. Should I start with a Portal or an Ultra? I mean, that's really, it's kind of, I mean, it's a price point thing, but and also, do you like the body style? The Ultra has the Origin body, which I really like. I like the Phoenix as well, but the Origin the half cab is still probably my favorite as far as style goes. I just love that style. My Class 1 runs the Rock Jock Ascender axles with Element transmission and Element chassis. Ooh, you have to gear down on that, or you should. Because the Futaba axles have terrible gear ratios, like less than 2-to-1. It's the worst. It was the major fault of the design of that truck was those axles. The axles were just not good. And that was the big problem. And, having a really bad gear ratio is what led to all the torque twist. And you can try and hide the torque twist, but I thought it was around 2.75. I don't think so. I don't think it's even that good. Negate price, but I like the Portal body. Well, that's a big part of it. The plastic F10s Portals are a really nice axle. They have better clearance technically, and they have better steering because they use universal axles. So those things about it make it very nice. While I do still like the Ultra, and I like the style quite a lot, the F10 Portals are a really, really nice axle. Okay. Put some... Oh, wow, I just looked it up. 1.85. Yes, that is what I thought. I was like, I don't think the Ascender had anywhere near that good of a ratio. Well, 1.85 to 1, which is Absolutely absurd. Okay. I'm gonna make myself feel less terrible with just little tiny bit of cleanup. Highway gears, right? I think my 1990 Corvette had like 273s. I needed a 17 mil adapter the other day. Don't do that very often around here. Went to the hobby shop today for one bottle of shock oil and spent $200. WTF. $200. So you didn't buy a full car, but $200, not easy. So did you buy like new tires? New tires, you're going to spend like almost $90, $80, you know, if like you're buying Pro Lines. It's not going to be tires and wheels unless it was some, you know, it could be wheels depending on what brand. I'm thinking like tires and some shocks, maybe. I want to hear. Now I got to hear what it is. I want to hear how far off I was. 2 Holmes motors. Okay. I would never have guessed that. Like that's because those are like nice, you know, not 2 brushless motors, but no ESC. Yeah, that's I would not have guessed 2 Holmes motors. Interesting. Especially when you didn't go for that in the first place. I'm even more intrigued. ABS 14 Portal with the Origin Limited body. Still need to paint it and adjust the servos on it. Ah, nice. Is the S66 Honcho in stores now? Yes. Yes, it is. Landed this week in stores. Sookie. Ridiculous out there. Was just working on my ATL Pro V2. When you use the VFD skid, does the front of the chassis get pinched towards the servo mount, or does it need to lay flat? I think the skid might be too wide. No, it gets, you pinch it in towards the front. Most flat rail chassis, you put a wide skid in and then you pinch it towards the front and towards the rear. You need that for your shock clearance so that you don't run into the chassis all the time. And it helps add some rigidity to the entire chassis by giving it that taper angle. So you want the skid to be wider. That will help it. Like I said, it'll give it that kind of curve shape, and that the chassis will also get much more rigid. Neither would I. Not at all what I went for. But one has already been installed. Success. That's my problem. I go to the hobby shop all the time, buy shit I didn't need, and then don't use it. Jibs, Alexa, order 3M double-sided adhesive. It's exactly right. Did I just throw it away? Because I do need it badly. My roll is over. Let's put it on my Amazon right now. See, this is why screws get everywhere. This shit anywhere. Amazon 3M what's it called? VM VHT. VHB, not T. 3M VHB. That's the tape you want. You're gonna do. The only problem is I hate now that you can never get the small roll. You always get the one with the roll that's like this. The center of the roll is so much. Damn it. Oh, they got the big one though. Like the roll that's like this big. 4950 3M rather than the standard. $59.52. All right, I'm looking up this $49.50. Let's see, 3M $49.50. Oh, it's still a VHB tape. Okay. Wait. Oh, the clear stuff? I don't like it. No. Nope. Veto. I'm going back to my normal. What's the little soldering iron you used called? TS100. Lots of different companies make one, and it's good stuff. Gorilla 60-pound double-sided tape. No. 3M VHB. It's just the perfect tape. It has a great hold, but it's still removable in a really easy way without leaving anything there. Yeah, no. I don't like the clear VHB, and it's got to be 3M. So, I just got to find, Jesus, $75. That is a big roll. So many options. 18 feet of it. Okay, that'll work. Prime, 1 day. 2-inch by 18 feet. Add to cart. Done. $49.50 comes in white also. Still don't want it. It's got to be the gray VHB. That's it. It's got to be that. It's got to be the gray VHB 3M branded. It's worth the extra dollars. Because this, actually, I think that was the thing. This was not. And you can tell, like, VHB. That's right. I had to grab that one because I used the rest of the real one on the trike the other day, and I had to grab that to mount something. What was it? I think it was like on our last live stream or something. Let's see. Put double-sided tape in the wrong spot. BMA. What issues do you have with what issues did you have? No, it was super easy to put together. It was one of the easiest ones to put together, really. Everything just kind of fell together, other than the shock mounting holes being 4 mil, which is still stupid. But beyond that, there was no like issues. It was cake to build. Evidently, I've built a few Phoenix kits lately because I've got stuff extras. Throw it away. What is this stuff? Tires, wheels. I gotta put that away. Inventory. Beware of the knockoff VHB on Amazon. Interesting. Not actual. Fire up the trike for the stream. I need to do a couple things to get it solid. Supposed to take it to Gunner tomorrow, if possible. If I can get it finished up and off to Gunner tomorrow, we'll be in good shape, because he was going to take it down to Proline by the Fire for me in his toy hauler. If I can't get it done tomorrow, I'll be hauling it down in the Gladiator. So, yeah, that's the. I am now realizing, though, that I maybe should have just given him the easy up. We'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't know. Like I said, I'm so far from freaking ready. I need to get my easy up down there, though, and the trike, and both of those in the Gladiator at the same time. Did you ever get the servo mounts for the moon buggy? No, I did not, because I also started designing up a servo mount that was a little bit different, a little bit further back, and that was one of the reasons that I needed one of these low profile Holmes servos, because I was going to put that in there for a little bit more power than the raw 500, for stuff here and there. Is your toy truck big enough for the trike? So this week, while I was working on that whole band project, I had to haul like 20 sheets of the trees that were cut, the 4x8 sheets of plywood, back to the school. So we were up late cutting in the night before. It was like 11:30. So by the time we were done, we just we threw him in the Gately Audio Sprinter van, which he's got the long wheelbase high roof Sprinter, like the 170 some odd inch wheelbase Sprinter. And I just drove that home and then took that the next morning. And I was just like, I like this Sprinter. I was like, I could see myself with this Sprinter. Not that one. I think I'd get the 144-inch wheelbase Sprinter instead. But it was a Mercedes 4-wheel drive. It's pretty nice. Diesel and all. Question, can I use the VFD twin transmission be used in a VS410 Pro or Ultra? Yep, sure can. You just got to make sure you've got the servo mounts and stuff that goes with it. So just buy all that stuff and then you're set. You need to get the camper version for sure. I want just the stripped version, and I'll just do my own version of it. Because then I can build it how I like. If you buy an RV version, you're spending like 120 some odd, 100 or more. If you buy like an Airstream Sprinter, you're $150,000, $200,000 for a van. So, yeah. Imagine all the RCs you could store in one of the. I know. Trike and an RC bed. I know. So many. Workbench, air conditioner, all the things. I picked up a ProTech 1K TBL today for my Phoenix straight axle. Do you think that is too much servo for it? Nah, it's fine. Some of the direct power servos are about that same type of power, I'm running that 1K TBL in my Ripper. Seeing that guy. So, for a panel van, 100K plus, yeah, they easily want. I think a stripped out one is still in the like a bare bone. It's got 2 seats in the front and an empty, nothing on the walls cargo van behind it is in like the 50s, 60s. It's crazy. It would get RC shelves all the way around. I just put IKEA lac shelves in it, just all the way down. Josh doesn't believe in too much servo. True story. What servo would you do for C2 or C3? Just do, so many of the direct power servos. I think I've got a Holmes SHV 500 V3 in my class 2 or 3, and I think that was like 800 ounce inches. I've got the Holmes SHV 800, which is that's like 1100 ounce inches. I've got the Reefs 1100 Smart here, which is, I think, if I can remember right, I think it's around 1100 ounce inches. 1K TBL, still a good one, if you're going for a comp rig, get as much servo as you can. Yes, I did show my mini lathe. Yep, little mini lathe. Yes, 38.3 base Sprinter. But I guess the one I'm just talking about, like the 4-wheel drive diesel, 100, even the 144-inch wheelbase. What's that cost? And what is base? It needs to have decent seats at least. you know, maybe a good screen in the center, the basics. Has package in hand but doesn't read. Yeah, I was being a smartass, Mike J, because it says 1100 on the front. Jokes, man. And 1100 ounce inches is exactly what it says. I would be stoked to live in a van down by the river. See, yeah, that I don't think I could see my. I have too many things I need. That's the problem. Do you have or have you ever used a Bridgeport? Yeah, I've got. I don't have, like, at work. I've got 2 Bridgeport style mills. One's an actual Bridgeport. One's like a Alliance or something like that. But it's a regular Bridgeport with a DRO on it. Super, super helpful. I use it for just random stuff all the time. West Desert Wheeler checking in. What's going on, sir? Don't get it in the 2700 V4. There's a V4 diesel. It's very weird. I've never heard of such a thing. But yeah, V6 turbo diesel. There we go. Sarcasm. Don't understand, he does. Have the Reefs 1100 at my Phoenix. Yeah, see, me not. The Rams are front wheel drive, heads up. Yes. So I have a friend who has the front wheel drive Ram, and he drives it all over, like to his trials stuff and all over the country, and it's set up fantastic for him. You know, I could still see it, and I live in California, so it's like, it's not like I'm hitting snow, you know. I guess like go in the mountains or whatever, but I very rarely do that, like in inclement weather. So, you know, it would be something I could think about, but at the same time, like, it would be nice to have the 4x4. So, yeah, $65K for a 144-inch 4x4. Yeah, that's about what I thought. That is more than my Gladiator was. I'll tell you that. What radio do you do for C2 or C3? Depends. C2 is very basic. You just need a 3-channel. C3, then you add rear steer. Gets a little fancier. 4PM Plus, I think, is just coming out now. It's a good radio, pretty inexpensive. I run Futaba stuff. I still think Futaba stuff is the best, personally. But, you know, you could also run. I've got the Spectrum stuff as well. I have the, what is this one here? DX5 Pro. And it's it's got decent programming and stuff in it. It's just so weirdly, like, I don't know. I just don't like the feel of this as much. It's very bulky. It just seems very big for what it offers you. I don't know. It's fine. Still a nice radio. Programming's still pretty decent. It's better than the last Spectrum I had way back when, which was like the DX3R. But, you know, it's got a good, like, the trigger feels nice. The steering feels good. The buttons are okay. But even with how weird Futaba is on programming, I've got so used to it that that's the way I go. But yeah, I just I don't love the feel of that. After replacing the head gas and having the head serviced and completely rebuilt the engine, it ran for 10 seconds. Then my timing belt snapped. T-3 days to Trail Hero. What rig? What rig, West Desert? That's a. Let's raise the bar. Donked Sprinter on 42s because they aren't tall as. We are getting snow in the closest spots here in North Carolina to the Tennessee-Virginia borders. I really like the 4 p.m. I love my 4 p.m. It was a great one. Are you still sponsored by Futaba? Not really. That stuff kind of all ended a long time ago. Like, I still have a relationship with them just from all the years, but how it's all very different than how it was. So You know, it's not like that's why I still have, or it's why I will on occasion use a Spectrum or whatever. It's not like the old days where if you're on Team Futaba, you're like, you can't be seen with another radio. You can't be. Yeah. 1994 runner with the 3.0 V6. Oh, man. At least it's not the worst thing to work on. You know. But with Dodge, you get the goofy looking beam rear axle. Yeah, it does always look funny, like driving behind those down the road and you get to see the big drop beam rear axle, which does give you plenty of room for, nice floor space back there without being too high. So, yeah. I like trying out all the radios. I mean, there's so many radios now that I have tried many of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them now. So, all right, we're going to wrap this thing up. I think it was a good night, but I've got a lot left to do. Some things that I'd like to work on that I can't show on a live stream. Sorry. But hopefully, man, I guess this is the last. I won't be on next Friday night because I'll be at Proline by the Fire. Unless somehow we decide to do a live stream from the house. But I'm guessing that that time on Friday night down there, we're still going to be at the event. So unless it's like a impromptu from my phone, it's probably about all, which may happen. Maybe I'll do it and just go up and smack Matt for all of you. Run away. Anyway. All right. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you on Wednesday because we are going to try and plan that. I'm going to try and be down there for the live, try and be down there with Matt for Wednesday night's live stream. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get some other videos that are ready to go up during that time. Still going to try and hit all the scale news, even with all the travel. So appreciate it. See you guys next time.